I've always been interested in downtown living and live work and passive solar energy. And I thought it's a good opportunity to try and incorporate some of those things that I always wanted to incorporate in my own living. This property here was only 3,500 square feet, but I managed to get in almost 4,000 feet of office, house, garage, studio. And from a design standpoint here, I wanted to try and establish different materials for the different functions. So the front portion is the office, built out of brick exterior over wood studs. The house has the kind of conventional, the traditional horizontal siding, red color of barn red, and then the utilitarian shop and garage is with metal. And then I like to use a lot of Corten steel, rusting steel. It also never needs maintenance. When you have materials like brick and steel, they'll never need painting, so there's no maintenance costs, no energy spent there. And in some cases, you cover buildings with vines. That keeps a little bit of the heat off of it and softens it a little bit. So this down here is the part of the office. This is the area where I meet with clients. We like to put holes in the floors, as you see right up above you and over here, and so that lets the air circulate, pulls the hot air up high with a thermal chimney effect. One of the techniques we use is called night air cooling, where we have big fans and we pull the outside air through the building at night, and then we close it all up during the day, and with a lot of mass on the inside, it stays quite cool. And then, of course, Casablanca fans help move the air around a little bit. A little bit of air motion gives the cooling effect. If you look around, a lot of the features in here are ones that I think go towards a green building, which is try and use the structure for the finish materials. Try to avoid putting finished materials on top. So here we have these steel joists. They're just prime painted, so they never got painted. And the floor, the 2x6 decking is the finish material, so there's no sheetrock applied to it. The floor is concrete with a stain on it, so it provides a lot of mass, which helps to take care of the thermal swings and store the coolness when you pull that cool air through, and there's no flooring on top of it that has to be replaced or maintained. The finish on the sheetrock, we take sand and put it in the sheetrock mud. We put a lot of sand in it, much more than you'd think, about 25 to 50% by weight. Kind of a natural color, and it warms up the space, and then it never needs painting. So then we come up to the second floor of the office, and there's a few features up here. This is the drafting studio. So we make use of a lot of daylighting. And then up here we've got a clear story. So as you can see, it's got half the lights on and it's still reasonably bright in here, bright enough to work. You can open those upper windows, just grab the pole. They're old schoolhouse type windows. And so when you don't need the fan assist, you get the low air coming in and then it pushes the hot air up high. Now, one of the things about some of these passive systems is you've got to be willing to be a little bit engaged with your structure. You got to remember to open and close windows, and some people that's a little bit too much for. Now I'll show you how this fan works. I normally don't turn it on this time of the day because it's really hot outside, but just an electronic timing switch. So this has 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 hours. Turns on the big fan. It's got the motorized damper, and once the damper is open, it's not that noisy. So we just run that during the night, pulls large quantities of air. We might change the air 15 times in a space, the volume of the air in an hour. It pulls the outside air through the structure. So you open up windows, and you can open windows in strategic locations. If you're sitting in the living room, you can open the living room windows and you get a nice breeze coming by. As you probably know, the cost to run a small fan, a half horsepower motor, is maybe a tenth of what air conditioning costs. And then the commute is very short between the two, the house and the office. And once I close this door, you don't feel like you're home anymore. You really feel like you're in the office space. It's not like having a bedroom that's an office. It really does feel like a commercial space. And, you know, as you can see, it's sort of detailed differently. And it's got the steel trusses. And so it's a nice separation. If you want to follow me over here, I'll show you my wife's painting studio. It's kind of like the Winchester Mystery House. We'll walk through the laundry. Oh, look, there she is.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, that was great. It's like a set.
Yeah.
So let's take a look in the house. It's not huge. The whole residence is about 1,730 square feet.
Which is way below. What's the median around here?
Oh, I don't know, 2,500. It's a lot. Although actually, when my wife's friends from France come to visit, they think it's a real big place, because in Europe, houses are quite a bit smaller. and when we tell them that this is smaller, they go, "Are you crazy?" So you really don't need that much, and we find it quite comfortable. There's a few tricks you can employ that help make a small space feel bigger. One of them is the ceiling height. So this is 10.5 feet. It helps it to avoid feeling claustrophobic. And of course, glass that opens out to the outside, which brings the outside inside and expands the visual size of the room. So if we head out here, this is a small little private courtyard. It's kind of hidden from the public, so when you're in an urban setting downtown, you want to create a little privacy. You can surround yourself with green and a little bit of fountain noise, mask out the traffic. This passion flower is like a jungle. It just is crazy lush and shields a little bit of the sun off the building. And then keep on coming up, 3 flights of stairs, keeps you in good shape, up and down, up and down. And so then this is the master bedroom level. We held the walls down so that the spatial volume flows over the top and gives you more feeling of openness. And you can feel it's a little bit warmer up here. It's probably close to 80 now, 79 degrees. But it's still a lot cooler than whatever it is, 100 outside. This is the 36-inch night air fan, and again, you kick it on with a timer switch. Has motorized dampers that open up, and this really pulls a lot of air through the house, pulls all the warm air out when the temperature goes down outside, and pulls the cool outside air in, and creates a nice breeze. Since this is 3 stories, the office is 2 stories. We go out here and we get the roof deck. So this up here is on top of the office, so you get a nice outdoor room. Very private, even though it's totally open, because you got the parapet walls, and as you can see, you really don't see the street unless you go right up to the edge. This roof is just a conventional built-up roof underneath these tiles. And then there's these plastic feet that telescope. There's a pedestal at the intersection of every tile. So the rainwater just goes down between the tiles. The tiles protect the membrane from solar degradation, so it extends the life of the roof membrane. And you get a flat roof. It's a great system. If you ever have to re-roof, you just take them up and can put them back down. You don't have a mortar bed with tile set in it that's a major operation to remove. So on those nights when it gets really hot, we'll sleep out here. And we often have our morning coffee out here. Now that I don't have to commute, every day after lunch just about, I take a nap. And I find myself much more refreshed for the afternoon. This is another nice device, which is an adjustable awning. Very easy to operate, so in the evening or in the wintertime, it just disappears and you get all the light in. And then when you need it for sun protection, you just roll it out. Now this too can be on a motor, but seems to me you don't really need the motor. And then through here, this is our little urban garden. Have a little alley here. It gets very hot, but it's good for growing tomatoes and various other things. My wife has a lot of herbs. Container plants. course, the awnings keep the sun out. Pretty simple, and it's not that expensive. I tried to incorporate the things I've learned over the years into this project. It's not particularly exotic, not a lot of fancy controls, and it's not overkill. I could have done a lot more, but I think just with common sense and some basic design concepts, you can, well, as I said, I dropped my energy usage 17%.